Hello everyone, welcome to another series of Mind Map. Today's topic of discussion is Preamble. Under this topic, we will discuss about the genesis of Preamble, ingredients of the Preamble, meaning of the keywords, significance of the Preamble, part of the Constitution, amenability of the Preamble and way forward. First of all, let's have a look at the genesis of Preamble. The Constitution begins with a short statement of its basic values. This is called the Preamble to the Constitution. The American Constitution was the first to begin with the Preamble. After this, most countries in the contemporary world have chosen to begin their constitutions with a Preamble. Values that inspired and guided the freedom struggle and were in turn nurtured by it formed the foundation of India's democracy. These values are embedded in the Preamble of the Indian Constitution. They guide all the articles of the Indian Constitution. N.A. Palkhiwala, an eminent jurist and constitutional expert, called the Preamble as the identity card of the Constitution. Now let's discuss about the ingredients of the Preamble. The Preamble reveals 4 ingredients or components of the Indian Constitution. The Preamble states that the Constitution derives its authority from the people of India. Nature of Indian state. It declares India to be of a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republican polity. Preamble specifies justice, liberty, equality and fraternity as the objectives of the Indian Constitution. It stipulates November 26, 1949 as the date of adoption of the Indian Constitution. Now moving on to the meaning of the keywords. There are certain keywords in the Preamble. Example: sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, etc. Sovereign. People have supreme right to make decisions on internal as well as external matters. No external power can dictate the government of India. Socialist. Wealth is generated socially and should be shared equally by society. Government should regulate the ownership of land and industry to reduce socio-economic inequalities. Secular. Citizens have complete freedom to follow any religion, but there is no official religion. Government treats all religious beliefs and practices with equal respect. Democratic. A form of government where people enjoy equal political rights, elect their rulers and hold them accountable. Republic. The head of the state is an elected person and not a hereditary position. Justice. Citizens cannot be discriminated on the grounds of caste, religion and gender. Social inequalities have to be reduced. Liberty. There are no unreasonable restrictions on the citizens in what they think, how they wish to express their thoughts. Equality. All are equal before the law. The traditional social inequalities have to be ended. The government should ensure equal opportunity for all. And fraternity. All of us should behave as if we are members of the same family. No one should treat a fellow citizen as inferior. Now let's discuss about the significance of the Preamble. The Preamble is an introductory statement in a constitution which states the reasons and guiding values of the Constitution. The Preamble embodies the basic philosophy and fundamental values, political, moral and religious, on which the Constitution is based. It contains the grand and noble vision of the Constituent Assembly and reflects the dreams and aspirations of the founding fathers of the Constitution. In the words of Sir Alladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, a member of the Constituent Assembly, the Preamble to our Constitution expresses what we had thought or dreamt so long. According to K.M. Munshi, a member of the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly, the Preamble is the horoscope of our sovereign democratic republic. Sir Ernest Barker, a distinguished English political scientist, described the Preamble as the keynote to the Constitution. Part of the Constitution. In the Berubari Union case 1960, the Supreme Court said that the Preamble shows the general purposes behind the several provisions in the Constitution. Despite this recognition of the significance of the Preamble, the Supreme Court specifically opined that Preamble is not a part of the Constitution. In the Keshwanand Bharti case 1973, the Supreme Court rejected the earlier opinion and held that Preamble is a part of the Constitution. In the LIC of India case 1995 also, the Supreme Court again held that the Preamble is an integral part of the Constitution. While forwarding the preamble for votes, the President of the Constituent Assembly said the question is that preamble stands part of the Constitution. The motion was then adopted. Hence, the current opinion held by the Supreme Court that the preamble is a part of the Constitution is in consonance with the opinion of the Constitution makers. Now lastly, let's discuss about the amenability of the preamble. The question whether the preamble can be amended under Article 368 of the Constitution arose for the first time in the historic 𝐃𝐨𝐰𝐬𝐧𝐥𝐨𝐚𝐝 case 1973. It was urged that the preamble cannot be amended as it is not a part of the Constitution. The Supreme Court held that the preamble is a part of the Constitution. The court stated that the opinion tendered by it in the Berubari Union 1960 in this regard was wrong. Supreme Court held that the preamble can be amended subject to the condition that no amendment is done to the basic features. The preamble has been amended only once so far in 1976 by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. This amendment has added 3 new words, socialist, secular and integrity, to the preamble. Now lastly, moving on to the way forward. The preamble to the Indian Constitution is based on the objectives resolution drafted and moved by Pandit Nehru. The preamble is neither a source of power to legislator nor a prohibition upon the powers of legislator. It is non-justiciable, that is, its provisions are not enforceable in courts of law. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said in the Constituent Assembly, "I say that this preamble embodies what is the desire of every member of the House, that this Constitution should have its root, its authority, its sovereignty from the people." Now moving on to the practice questions. First of all, note down the prelims question, which was asked in 2020 exam also. The preamble to the Constitution of India is a part of the Constitution but has no legal effect, not a part of the Constitution and has no legal effect either, a part of the Constitution and has the same legal effect as any other part, or a part of the Constitution but has no legal effect independently of other parts. Now moving on to the mains question. Fraternity remains the least understood, least discussed and the least practiced of the 4 pillars of constitutional morality spelt out in the preamble of India's Constitution, and from it, Constitution also derives the unity of the nation. Explain. So that's all for today. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching.